Product Hunt founder Ryan Hoover joins us for the show. ACLU enrolls at Y-combinator, and poker pros lose to AI. It's Tuesday, January 31st, and this is Crunch Report. What is up, TechCrunch land? We got ourselves a great show today with special guest founder of Product Hunt, Ryan Hoover. What up, man?
Hey,
welcome to the show.
Nice spot. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I love it. It's just really well decorated and nice. All right, congrats on getting acquired by AngelList.
Thank you.
So how did that go? Like when you got acquired, who's the first person you called?
Ooh, I mean, the first person, let's see, lawyers maybe?
Right away?
Yeah. I don't know, actually. No, it was something that I talked to Steven Snofsky a lot. He's on board at the time from Andreessen Horowitz, and of course talked with him thoroughly leading up to the decision and conversation.
No parents, no nothing?
At some point I told my parents.
Hey, guess what?
My parents, they're from a different world. They're actually their own entrepreneurs, have been starting and running their own businesses for a long time, but they're in a different world. They don't really fully understand the perspective of venture capital and how things work in Silicon Valley. So they're very proud and excited, but also just they're kind of wrapping their brain around what is going on sometimes.
So what's the plan now? What are you guys working on?
Yeah, so it's great. So it's been almost 2 months since we got acquired and since we moved to their office in Jackson Square. A lot of the things that we've been doing are staying the same. So we're still working on ultimately our goal of product discovery. How do we surface awesome products and help makers and companies find users? So that mission isn't changing, but now in this new kind of world with AngelList, there's a lot of opportunities for us to help founders in different ways. AngelList has historically been helping founders fundraising and also recruiting and building a great team. Now they've added Product Hunt, which is really about distribution and users. So we're working on our plans in 2017 right now, actually.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. Congratulations. 25 million, is that correct? That's
I can't say.
I mean, you can say. Come on, man.
Sorry.
Anyway, congratulations. That's awesome. Let's get these people the tech news.
Let's do it.
Y-combinator works with startups to give them mentorship, guidance, and help them grow into juggernauts. So it's not every day you hear of the accelerator accepting a 97-year-old organization into its next batch. And that's what has happened. The American Civil Liberties Union will learn how to turn the $24 million it raised over the weekend into growth and progress with help from top Silicon Valley startup accelerator. The thought here is, how will the ACLU spend the money it raised most effectively? And this is one skill YC specializes in teaching. It could give the nonprofit guidance on how to use the cash to attract talent, make investments in technological infrastructure, and market itself to grow its donor base and influence. Y-combinator will also provide some funding, though it won't take an equity stake in ACLU because it's a nonprofit. ACLU will not have to pay to participate. Ryan, to me that sounds awesome, getting ACLU in there. What do you think?
Yeah, we didn't expect it. I didn't expect seeing that. There's been a lot of activity, especially since this weekend, around ACLU and a lot of people donating, which I think you covered in yesterday's report. And, I think it's a really interesting opportunity for the ACLU. And also, as you think about different industries working together, even taking one step out and above, there's a lot that we as a tech industry can learn from entertainment and from other industries as well, or even finance to some degree. And I think having, ACLU join Y-combinator to learn from them can be very eye-opening and interesting to see how that plays out over the next quarter or so.
The ACLU has been thrust into the spotlight now because of the whole immigration ban. What's been your thought on the immigration ban or product hunts or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, we have a distributed team at Product Hunt, and a few of my teammates have gone through O1 processes, which took 9 to 12 months each. They're very laborious, time-consuming, not only financially, but also just time-wise. And for us, even at a high level, we all know that so many big companies and talented people live across the world, and a lot of them have immigrated to the U.S. And built successful companies to date. You can look at a number of unicorns today. They're all founded by first and second gen immigrants. So ultimately, we as a country should be accepting these people and bringing talent to the country rather than the exact opposite of really shutting them out. For the sake of innovation and technology, we need immigrants to come to the U.S.
Cool. And so Product Hunt, you guys went through YC in 2014, around then. So what can a company like ACLU, I mean, we talked about a little bit of what they can expect to get from YC. What do you think, as someone who's gone through it, that it'll be beneficial to them?
Yeah, I don't know enough about ACLU and how they operate to know what differences they will make. But one thing that YC does a great job of is, one, it's applying pressure and forcing very short timelines execution and being experimental and trying new things, talking to users. And by applying maybe a tech perspective and a startup culture to something that has been around for a very, very long time, could be very interesting. So I'm curious to see how it plays out. I'm not going to make any guesses, I guess, on how it will actually change the company.
Yeah. So tech, what do you think it can be doing? There's all this immigration ban stuff. People are being they're voicing their opinions. What do you think tech can do that it isn't already doing?
When it comes to immigration?
Yeah.
It's a
hard subject. It's a hard subject.
Yeah, it's a topic that every single tech company that reaches a certain scale has dealt with immigration challenges, and that's oftentimes just recruiting in general. First step is, how do you build an awesome team, and then how do you tap into these people who are across the world outside of the U.S. to date? Really, a small minority of people live in San Francisco, and then a small minority of people compared to the world live in the U.S. So if we're wanting to continue to build and innovate within technology, we should be accepting and bringing people from all around the world who are building awesome products, whether they're engineers, designers, marketers, product managers, and so on.
For sure. All right, let's move into something a little less intense. This immigration stuff gets me hot and bothered. Uber is doing whatever it can do to make self-driving happen. It bought Otto for self-driving trucks. It's running autonomous driving car tests in Pittsburgh and Arizona, and it's partnered with Volvo to work on a self-driving test car. Now, Daimler and Uber have announced a partnership that will see the automaker introduce its own self-driving cars for use on Uber's ride-sharing service. The difference in this deal than the one that Uber has going with Volvo is that Daimler will own and operate its own vehicles itself while taking advantage of Uber's technology and ride-sharing network services. Uber tells TechCrunch this is the first time it's announcing its role as an open self-driving vehicle platform, wherein car makers can bring their own vehicles to the network to operate them. It's a little like what Tesla intends to offer for drivers of its own cars, but targeted at automaker fleets and open to all car makers. Ryan, I hate driving. It's just boring to me. I'd rather be doing something else. You a fan of driving? You like driving?
Maybe once every 2 months, but not regularly. Not in San Francisco.
Yeah?
No.
You own a car?
I don't. I got rid of mine. Yeah, I'd actually sat in the garage so long that the battery went out, and I realized I should probably get rid of this car. It's not really useful here in San Francisco.
Uber, Waymo, Tesla, Cruise, GM. Who have you been rooting for when it comes to driving? Who's doing this right?
I mean, I don't really have a stake in any of those companies.
Yeah.
And honestly, I just would love to have cheap, affordable, fast transportation, however that's done. If it's flying drones at some point where I can just open up my arms and it carries me away, like, that's great. I do find it particularly interesting, as you see, even if you look at how tech companies evolve and change over time. If you looked back maybe 5 years ago, a lot of people wouldn't have assumed that Uber and Tesla in particular would come together and eventually become competitors. And we're seeing more and more of that happen over time. They both approached the market in different ways, but starting to offer similar services down the road.
Just curious, what do you use more these days, Uber or Lyft?
I actually default to Uber. I have no particular reason why. I do like their app update, though.
Yeah.
It's,
you see all these
better.
people. You see all these people deleting their Uber accounts.
Yeah, I have seen that.
Protest.
Yeah.
I didn't. Is that? I don't even know if that's a big. Like, is that big of a deal to delete your Uber account?
I'm actually still. I need to do more research on this, but I'm not sure what instigated that, because it seems like what did instigate it was actually not directly related to Uber supporting Trump or immigration banning or anything like that.
Yeah,
it seems like a misunderstanding.
There was definitely some kind of miscommunication with, like, surge pricing and all this stuff that in the end Uber came out and said, like, wait, we didn't do this because of. But who knows, man? People have their reasons.
Yeah.
All right. Each new victory for AI has brought with it an epic duel between man and machine. Kasparov versus Deep Blue, Lee Sedol versus Deep Mind, and now today, Dong Kim, Jimmy Chu, Daniel McCauley, and Jason Les versus Liberatus for dominance over heads-up, no-limit Texas Hold'em. At the end of 20 days of essentially non-stop poker, the group of top players lost to Carnegie Mellon's poker-playing AI. You got a feel for these fellows. They had to lose to this machine day in and day out for 220 total hours. That's got to mess with your head. To keep everyone's sanity, the event purse of $200,000 is being distributed between the human players, with the winning AI being left out of the festivities. The milestone holds promise for more broad information in complete problems. We're not there yet, but the world will be quite the place when our algorithms can negotiate on our behalf. Could actually end up more fair if you think about it. Do you play poker at all?
I'm not very good. I try to avoid playing, but I will play and donate my money for social purposes.
Yeah.
That's it. I never win. Never.
Do you feel that AI machine learning projects on Product Hunt are changing from when they used to come on to the platform to now?
We're seeing
the complexity.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of people build AI products or apps or services, and a lot of it is marketing to some degree. I think we've seen this in different ways where a certain trend or something takes off and they use it more as marketing when it's actually not true AI. That said, we all know that artificial intelligence and a lot of what is very nascent today will change dramatically things in the future, whether it's self-driving cars or poker playing. I actually wonder, sometimes we look at our own jobs and we're like, oh, our jobs are safe. We're in technology and we'll never be outsourced by robots. And I do ask myself, like, will my job or how much of my job will be outsourced by robots in the future? So it is an interesting world that we're living in.
Product Hunt sounds like the name of a robot. Are
you
a robot? You're
maybe?
just faking this whole time?
Are you? I don't know. Maybe. I've never cut myself to really understand if
that's
I'm
Westworld
real
stuff right
there.
there.
That was gruesome. That was too much.
At CES when we were there earlier this year, everything was AI. They were just adding AI to everything and internet connected to hairbrushes and tacos and what else. Is there any dumb product out there that you're like, you know what, this could use some AI?
Ooh.
Or that you've seen maybe you've seen it even come up onto the website on Product Hunt where it's like, all right, that's interesting.
Yeah, there's this, it actually could be kind of useful, but there's this attachment that you can attach to your garbage. It's called Genie Can, and it's not necessarily a smart device per se, but what it does is allows you to track what you're throwing away, so it can track what you need to repurchase, like if you need a new carton of milk or more cereal. My favorite feature though is you can set it up so it texts your teenager son, daughter, when the garbage is full.
That's actually a good idea.
Yeah.
I wish I had that when I was young, because it was always just like, hey, take out the trash.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You got to go where the kids are, and they're on their phone. Yeah.
Great, man. Well, last thing, we got a winner yesterday for the Crunchies, Daniel Shonsky. Congrats, bud. The Crunchies are next Monday, February 6th, so get your tickets at techcrunch.com/crunchies. We'll do another contest tomorrow. Ryan, are you going to be joining us there at the Crunchies?
I'll be there.
We'll have a good time.
I'll be there. Yeah, me and a few teammates will be there.
That's awesome. Dude, and also, congratulations again on the acquisition and on everything, whatever you guys do in the future, and thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Tito.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
That's the report for today. I'm Tito Hamzy. Crunch Report is every weekday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on TechCrunch.com. You can also find us on iTunes and on YouTube. And we'll see you tomorrow. I love you, Ryan. Bye-bye.